Radio peeps. We a new day, I guess you could say. I guess we're talking to the old man. I think we said I had a break. I forgot.
Hello, dear.
Hello.
Good morning, Father.
Weird turtleneck.
Did you dream again?
Yes, still the same dream.
I should have had that eucalyptus tea.
Did you find anything interesting?
Just as you thought, the danger hanging over the royal family most certainly concerns the young Henry of Navarre. The predictions I wrote down about this year didn't evoke a curse, but they weren't particularly positive either. And given the events that are occurring, they've taken on a whole new meaning.
What do you mean?
Amongst people, dissension, brutal enmity, war, death of great princes.
But Henry isn't the prince.
Yes, he is. He's the Prince of Navarre. But that's not the problem. Predictions are written to be interpreted and not considered simple truths. Imagine the danger they could represent.
Yeah, you still do them. Odd, isn't it?
What do I have to do?
I don't know, daughter. This time, I'm afraid I have no answer to offer you. According to my observations, you alone might possess one.
I don't understand.
Shortly before Catherine de Medicis arrived, I felt weak. If it hadn't been for that, I would never have sent you off on such an adventure. But today, I feel that it was supposed to happen that way. No one is prisoner of a destiny written in the stars, but some people bear in themselves extraordinary stories and destinies. However this story concludes, you will have an essential role to play in it before the end of the day. I worked on your chart again last night, and a recurring figure asserted itself as if it had kept vigil on your destiny since your birth, and especially today. It's a pentagram. You'll find out how pregnant with meaning this symbol is. And also, consider these words. The key is in the last one. They came to me in the middle of the night like something obvious.
Tell you, Dad's stripping balls again, isn't he? He just sniff that weird concoction of God knows what and drives him into an acid-fueled nightmare.
I found a sheet hidden in the missal belonging to the dead scribe. It looks like a recipe, but I don't know what potion it could be.
Let me see. This is impossible. Madeline, the man isn't dead.
What?
This is for a potion allowing someone to feign death for several hours. It's remarkably effective, but very complicated to prepare.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm going back. We already knew that guy was not dead. She didn't check his tongue. If she checked his tongue, she would have realized that he's not dead. So yeah. Oh, there's the big reveal. It was the scribe or priest all along. Oh, we didn't see that coming, did we? As if. That's.
Father was right.
Nobody
The
noticed
scribe
that.
is still alive. I'd better be careful. I might be one of his next victims.
Why is no one come down here and looked at this the body? Surely if someone came in and gone, wait a minute. He's turned into sacks of sand? What kind of magic power is that? I guess it gets rid of your corpses, you don't have to worry about burying them. I think we need to check on
He must have changed the lock.
wow, what an asshole. You can unlock this now. Funny enough.
This would seem to be a note from 𝘱𝘐𝘏. I wonder what in the librarian's research could interest the scribe.
Well, we wouldn't know that he killed 𝘱𝘏 because there's the saw and there's the sawdust. This, like... It's not much... Like, you carry the sawdust around and you don't do anything with it. Oh god, I'm gonna have to bloody read again, aren't I? To preserve man from... calamities such as wars, epidemics, and earthquakes. The Celts made numerous offerings of great value in honor of the dead and their gods, just as in our churches, their rich sanctuaries were not meant to be not meant to host any form of violence other than ritual sacrifice. However, the first Christians to arrive in the region massacred many pagans who refused to convert. Of course they did. That's Christianity for you. What, you won't conform to us? We'll murder you then, in the name of God. Thanks, Christians. Assholes. Right. I think it's just to check constants now. Must rebalance. Wait a minute, that's not the wrong one. Oh, here we go. Make sure 𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘱𝘦𝘪𝘳 and constants are alright.
No, it can't
My
be.
gods.
This story is too morbid for me. All the people I approach die, one after another.
It's almost like you're cursed. Let's have a look. What's got on her? Let's check her
Poison
face.
again. You really have to pay attention to what you swallow around here.
I'm such a dirty-minded person. Holy shit. Why did I laugh and think of something incredibly disgusting? That's right, I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm pretty sure if you're as dirty-minded as me, you'd understand what I was laughing at then. Holy crap.
I can't pull the sheet out. Her fingers are too stiff.
Uh,
Forced me to be their
brilliant.
accomplice. Nostradamus, his son, and his assistant set the whole thing up. I can't bear having betrayed the crown, and I prefer eternal damnation rather than support the eyes of Catherine upon me. What a crock of lies! But it's a clever ploy. Accusing us was the best thing the killer could come up with to succeed in his sinister mission. I have to stop him, at all costs.
Mademoiselle Constance.
I'd better not stay here.
just puff into a puff of smoke, no?
Good Lord! Call out the guard!
Call out the guard.
Those astrologers took us for dupes. Constance is dead and left a letter explaining she was their accomplice. You hurry to Nostradamus' house to arrest him. And you take care of
accent's
his
so
former
great.
assistant. You can just lock him up in the guard room.
You can
If
just
need
lock
be,
him up
I'm
in the
going to
guard
fucking
room.
Catherine. We'll deal with the body later.
Brilliant. I'm confused. Is it supposed to be French or Italian? I'm pretty sure Catherine was French.
They're
I
not
can't really
wasting any
remember.
time. And even if the letter accuses Nostradamus and 𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘱𝘦𝘪𝘳, I'm afraid neither of my two identities will protect me. The only way to help my father is to elucidate this case and to convince Catherine of his innocence. And to do so, I'm still missing a few elements.
Okay, so you need to put this robe on. Now I'm disguised. Nobody's gonna suspect this random monk. Yeah. Like a fucking ghost. With an obvious female face. So 𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘱𝘦𝘪𝘳 is in prison over here. The story for this just turned to
Who are
bobbins. It's so
What do
funny.
you want of me? I have nothing to confess.
Shh, not so loud. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you.
Madeline, is that you?
Yes, I think so.
But you can also call me César, if you feel like it.
What the?
Don't make that face. César was away, and Catherine would never have accepted that a young girl conduct the investigation. In any case, I sure fooled you.
You did indeed.
We have no time to
no
lose.
time to lose.
They arrested you after they found the body of Constance and a letter in which she said she committed suicide, overwhelmed with remorse after helping you and my father engineer this curse from top to bottom.
That's absurd. Why would we have done that?
Why, to destabilize the crown. Between the astrologer and the heretic, there's just a thin line that someone is trying to push you across very quickly. The killers are powerful people, 𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘱𝘦𝘪𝘳. They're after the young Henry of Navarre. the one whose chart you were to do.
But I told you I didn't know.
That doesn't matter. What counts is who asked you to do it. I have to know now. The guards must already have arrested Nostradamus, and I'm the only one who can get you out of this mess. So talk.
If it's the one who ordered the chart who's behind all this, then we won't get out of it.
Don't be so sure. But for God's sake, tell me who it is.
The Cardinal of Lorraine, the Duc de Guise.
I'm not surprised. If you had had the time to establish young Henry's chart, you'd understand.
If the motive is in the chart, your reasoning doesn't hold water, since I never gave it to him.
You're not the only person who can do a chart.
Yeah, you just have to make it look like Nostradamus has done it. So weird. It's like the story went from, oh, suspicious murder, mystery, oh, then all of a sudden it's like, we found Constance's body, and it's like, oh yeah, Nostradamus is the one who set it all up. Like, the murders took place before Nostradamus was introduced. Are you telling me that he was writing letters to Constance and whoever else was involved to plot murder? It's so stupid. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, surely Queen Catherine wouldn't just automatically go, yep, right, kill him. You know, there is literally no evidence that points towards our involvement, except a letter written by some idiot who's been poisoned. Yet there's no poison vial next to her. If she committed suicide, and it's probably cyanide, maybe, she'll probably die like quite quickly. So there'll be no reason to like hide the vial of whatever she's drinking. Yet there's no poison vial there, which is very suspicious.
Did you know the scribe well?
Well, no. We chatted a bit when we walked. He was pious and cultivated, your classic monk scribe. Nothing unexpected.
You can use the present tense, and as for the unexpected, try this. He's not dead. In fact, he was surely the one who murdered Philibert, then the guard, and Constance.
But that's impossible. I helped carry him into the chapel.
He took a potion to simulate his death. Father says that those who know of preparations like that are very rare indeed. Do you think he had that sort of knowledge?
No. Besides your father, I've only known one man who knew as much about plants and their properties. Catherine's apothecary. But he's dead.
During your journey here, on the road, in the middle of the night. Is that right?
Good Lord.
I no longer have one murderer to deal with, but two.
Be careful, madam.
Conspiracy, isn't it?
Don't worry, and remain calm. It'd be a shame to get yourself skewered before I prove your innocence. I need to learn more about the symbolism of the pentagram.
Go look in my office. You should find an engraving of a pentagram there. It's a 5-pointed star, set in a circle. It can symbolize the magic of the heretics, just as it can knowledge, the 5 elements, or the association of the feminine and masculine principles.
Interesting.
But why that question?
According to my father, the chart of my sky curiously resembles a pentagram.
Androgyny is indeed a countenance you bear well. You really are a young woman full of surprises.
Thanks. You're not so bad yourself. Often you're just like a fucking idiot. I guess I can overlook your awful tasting clothes. So we need this. Luke. Oh, so you need to use this scalpel. Let's cut the page out. You need the page. If you don't have the page, you'll be running around. You might be asking why I know this. Why you need this page? Because recently I ran through this before I recorded, and I spent like 10 minutes wondering what the fuck I'm supposed to do, and I didn't realize you had to cut the page out of the fucking book. Bloody book. Put this in here. You can't do anything with this just yet, so we have to go and speak to Queenie. It's probably good if you save here. I don't know if this you get choices, and she has one of those weird meters, the bars at the bottom left, but shows you if you pass this speech check or whatever. I don't know if you can fail this, but if you could save here just in case you want to find out. But I mean, I'm not. I'm gonna do what I normally do and just wing it.
What do you have to tell me, monk, that is so urgent?
I have come to tell you, my father is innocent of all of which he is accused.
Why am I only slightly surprised to see you enter my rooms disguised like this?
Perhaps you already suspected that César and I are one and the same, and that another disguise, when you come down to it, is hardly surprising. Or maybe you just didn't really believe in Nostradamus's guilt, and one way or another, you were awaiting my arrival.
I think you owe me an explanation.
I like to think she has absolutely no idea. I guess logically she would know that I was a woman in disguise. I mean, that's what I'd like to think. Surely she could see through. Surely you'd know if I was. And again, she does have quite a broad shoulders, doesn't she? It's weird. I don't know. I'm just gonna say that she knew all along. Yeah. So this is the speech thing. If this gets into green, you've convinced her. If it gets into orange, you've convinced her. You're not too bad. The thing is, remember that you've got no evidence to back up any of your statements, so you have to convince her with facts. Like, you can't say someone's seeking to deceive you because you don't have any evidence that backs that statement up, so you don't pick that. You just come to say, I've not come to defend my own head.
I have not come to defend my own head.
Yeah.
Neither my father, nor Chavigny, nor poor Constance betrayed you.
That's all you've found?
Yeah, look, it's described who betrayed you. Again, no evidence, so I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say, I know there's no explanation that will satisfy you completely.
I know that no explanation will satisfy you completely.
I'm right.
So the only way to convince you is to catch the real guilty party.
And how do you intend to do that?
I discovered a gallery under the chateau that must date from the time of the Celts. According to the notes I found in the rooms of the person I suspect, he knew of its existence and thinks there's a treasure hidden there. I intend to lure him down there. If my observations are correct, the shafts that illuminate the gallery also permit sound to carry. You should be able to hear us from the chapel.
I have, in fact, noticed odd noises.
Again, please, you have to believe me, is absolutely stupid to say. Let's go for this one.
You've nothing to lose by letting
yeah.
me try. If I'm mistaken, or don't manage to convince you, we both know that I have little chance of escaping.
You're very clever. What proves to me you won't try to run away?
We'd never have come here if you had an utmost faith in my father. Let me prove to you. Oh, I don't know about this one. My father's in your custody of your guards, and anyway, there's no way out. I'd rather this one. Let me prove it to you.
You would never have come here if you hadn't the utmost faith in my father. Let me prove to you that wasn't an error. You won't be disappointed.
Very well. So will you tell me at last who your mysterious suspect is?
We're not going to say the scribe because, again, we have no evidence. So, someone so clever.
Someone so clever that today he seems above suspicion.
You make far too much of a mystery of it for me.
What's the best way to be suddenly cleared of any suspicion?
To have someone else accused in your place. To pass for a victim.
Exactly, Your Majesty. Pretend to be dead. If you send someone to check, you'll see the scribe's body is not in the chapel.
But how is that possible?
With an accomplice like your apothecary, many things become possible.
So he is alive also.
I don't know that, but he must have taught the scribe some of his secrets.
Very well, Madeline. You've persuaded me to give you a chance.
Yay.
I won't disappoint you.
I'll leave you a little time, but don't take too long to put your plan into action. When you hear the bells toll, you'll know I'm not far. That will be the moment, if ever, to make him talk. One last question, nonetheless. How did you discover the existence of those underground galleries?
It's Philibert, the chateau librarian, who found them. Till now, I've just followed in his footsteps. According to his notes, he was about to discover a sanctuary when he died. That's where I have to take over.
Well then, get to it. You've no time to lose. Oh, I was about to forget. You don't need all your disguises anymore.
Damn it.
Give them to me. I prefer to know you're dressed as a young woman, rather than have a chameleon in the household.
Very well, Your Majesty.
Wow, what's with the hate against chameleon one? What's that about? There we go. Now we can't dress up as anyone now. Here we are, back to being Madeline. Good old plain boring Madeline. Who am I kidding? I like this character. I like her more than any other character. So there's only really one. We can't. What am I coming here for? We can't speak to him anymore. He's got nothing else to say. So we have to have a look. Okay. Scribe was found. Note in Philibert mentioned the treasure. He no doubt wants to get his. Oh, that's so hard to bloody read. If I find the entrance to the sanctuary, I might have a chance to entice him. Set a trap. Come on, trapping some asshole.
In his notes, Philibert speaks of pagan sites of worship over which churches and chapels were built. If that's the case of the sanctuary he was looking for, there might be one near here. I have the feeling I'm on the right track, but I'm still missing an essential element.
I may have what you're looking for, but first...
Why did he knock me out?
Don't worry about the dizziness. It'll pass quickly. Unless you're very sensitive to poison, dear Madeline.
Actually, I am.
What?
I made you swallow a few drops of a preparation that is, shall we say, particularly noxious. If you cooperate, I shall give you the antidote. Otherwise, you'll merely be one more victim.
How could I trust an assassin?
You have no choice. I don't know exactly what you found in Philibert's affairs, but I'm sure you're looking for the same thing I am.
What are you talking about?
Don't waste your time. You haven't much left. There is a sanctuary somewhere under this chateau, which must surely contain a treasure. And considering how interested you are in the late Philibert's research, you surely have an idea on how to find it.
No, I don't know where it is, nor even if it really exists.
Of course it does. The librarian wasn't the type to get excited for no reason. There's a very good chance we can get into it from this chapel. At least that's what he thought. Look at what I found on the altar. I'm sure it's related to the treasure.
Rightio, I'm going to do this before we continue. So, the next part is timed. As you can see from the, if you notice in the bottom left, there was a green, yellow, orangey bar. That's your health. If that drops, you automatically die. So, as per usual, best to take a save. With said save taken, you have to be quite quick with this, which is really unfortunate because there's like at least 3 puzzles you have to do under this time. And yeah, they're not hard, not necessarily. Some of them are more like the first one with the pentagrams, relatively easy. It's the one after that that's a pain in the ass. But yeah, it's I already know the solution for all of these, so I'm just gonna get straight to it, and you'll yeah, I really don't want to die here. So yeah, let's continue, shall we? Rightio. So you have to make a pentagram using these little dials. They move left to right. Well, they're moving a full circle, as most things that do. But I know the solution because I played this not too long ago. I say, yet still can't remember the solution. It's like it's 210. So this one's wrong. Where's that one? That's 1, 2, 3. So that's to the left, isn't it? Like, that looks like a star. I know that one's right because, as you can see, 2, 10, 21. I think it's this one that's wrong. Yes. Goes there.
That figure again.
There we go.
Figures inscribed on the
Oh, that was
glass
quick.
are set at the tips of the pentagram's 5 points, like in 𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘮's engraving.
𝘱𝘦𝘴𝘮. This one's a pain in the ass because you have to use your quill and you have to like 1, 2, 3, and 4 equals the verse or the line. So line 1, the second letter, the 10th letter, and the 21st letter. You count all these to get to 2, then 10, then 21, and you underline them. You have to remember that these little underline little line things, they count as a digit, so you have to add that as well. So if I was counting at 10, it would be 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that. And number 2 is L. You know what I mean? It's it's not difficult. It's just it can be frustrating if you're playing on a monitor that's miles away from you with a shaky hand. But yeah, it's not difficult. So I'll do this and you'll see the solution. It's quite obvious. Okay, so 21 is there. I'm trying to remember now, so I don't have to count. That's 2, 6. I think that's 6. Yep. Third line is 16 and 29, so it's like is it this one? Oh, good lord, I can't really remember. 16, 29 is, I know that's that one between the oracle, and 6th one is the N, and then it should be the E. Alright, it wasn't. Okay, so I know that's the L and that's the I. It's difficult, I can't tell if I've underlined the R or the I there. That's I know that's right. I know it's the A. It's the E. I think I did this one wrong. 16 is, it's the E in France, and that's the D there. And then 6 is the N in Mason, or whatever the fuck that says. And 21 is, yeah, it's the E. It should be that one. Yeah, I must have got the E in that wrong. And it's an anagram. Can you guess what it is? It's fairly obvious. As you can see, our time's ticking down, so I'm not gonna. It's spells Madeline, so it's M-A-D. I can't remember how you spell her name. It's weird because Madeline's spelled in such an odd name for me. Is it E Mad E-L-E-I-N-E?
Unbelievable.
There we go.
Once again,
She's got so many
Father's
bloody E's
predictions
in her
turn
name.
out to be exact. He thought I had a special part to play in this adventure, but from there to imagine that my first name would be the key. Now,
Not
I have to
spooky.
figure out how to put this to use.
Right. A good thing to do now is
Well,
take them.
I don't know yet.
You don't deserve the treasure, you thick piece of shit. You don't even know how to solve puzzles. So what you're going to do is click on the telescopic object and click on the magnifying glass and extend it, because we're going to need it extended. And we'll put it in here. And then we use this glass pentagram at the top. Right, so that's in the rightful place. Can't remove it now.
I think it's where it should be.
Brilliant. So the only thing we're going to have to do, we have to talk to him. We need to trigger something, which is this dialogue here. Should we talk? I think it's talk to him costs time.
Why did you kill 𝘱𝘐𝘏? A victim closer to Queen Catherine would have fit better with the idea of a curse.
we had already met a long time ago. There was a risk he'd raise suspicions about me if he revealed the circumstances of that encounter. Also, I knew he wasn't here by chance. He has always pursued ancient ruins, so I could both serve the curse and find a treasure. How could I resist? To tell the truth, I almost abandoned the quest until I realized you were also on the trail of the prize. So I decided to let you search for me.
Dude, you're bloody useless. You don't deserve the treasure if you can't find it yourself.
How can a man of God stoop to such crimes?
For gain, as well as from conviction. All right now, enough talking. If you want to live, you'd better find my treasure. And time's running out.
The only conversation you need to have is the bottom one.
Did you notice any strange inscriptions in a script quite different from ours?
On the capitals, for example?
Perhaps. I'll go see.
Again. Ah, it just doesn't stop. That has to be the 12th one in just a few days.
12? You're sure of that?
I'm pretty sure.
When 12 times catastrophe has told, what if the prophecy referred to the earthquakes and not to deaths? So those quatrains might end up fulfilling themselves.
Why does this keep stroking this, He's got sweaty palms or something, dude. Weirdo. Again, this is not a good time to save, because this puzzle is, it's not hard. This is quite easy. I'll give you the solution. You have to spell Madeline and these pillars in the symbols that we sorted out before, these alphabet things. So this one is an M, which is M, even though that doesn't look like a M, it looks like an N, 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 but that's M. M for monkey. Come down here. It's not all single letters. Some of them have double, which really fucks me up. So yeah, be prepared. This one is A. The next one is here, which is I forgot how you spell a name. It's this one is D and E. It's doubled. So D is the line with the dots. It looks like number 1. And E is that one. So that's D and E. I keep pressing right click to leave the screen. That's really frustrating me. How much have we got left? L-E-I-N-E. Yeah, so this one will be L and E. L is the line with that sticking out of it. So that's like that. We've already got E, so that's L and E. This one should be... I need to keep looking at a name because I'm trying to remember how many letters are left. L and E. This is probably I and N. So let's have a look. I is the line, and N is the... that one. I and N. And this one is E, which is the... is that the line? Line and the dot. Oh, there we go. Ooh, spooky.
I knew you'd be able to deal with these pagan inventions. You're a veritable witch.
Excuse
Every
me?
sign, one by one, in the tomb. There are tombs under each of these columns, and signs on all the capitals. It looks like the prophecy is proving true.
You calling a witch? Piece of shit. So now we have to line up these lights. This is quite easy. If you don't realize you can actually extend this pole, then you're kind of buggered because the game doesn't really tell you. The only way you know you got it right is when she says
It's where it should be.
you think it's where it should be, so you got it right. And everything else then falls into place. All you need to do is just line up the lights. It's kind of easy. It can only really go one way, so it's not too difficult. And it lands here. Then you use your old sword. Ding dong.
Go down first. There may be some obstacles to get around.
Oh,
And
what a
it seems to
surprise.
me You've a talent for that.
Dude, why don't you just take your balls off and put them in your pocket?
Bells.
If you don't
The
deserve
queen
them.
will be arriving any minute now. I have to find this treasure in a hurry. Once his greed is satisfied, the monk should prove more willing to talk.
Hurry up. Get down.
Okay. Oh, there's a head there. Put the head on the statue and then
I'm searching. The room is small, but maybe there's a passage I haven't yet noticed.
Guy's such a bloody coward. You have to give him the sword. Creepy. Oh, it's a room full of treasure. The end of the game.
It's marvelous. Gold. Nothing but gold.
You have your treasure at last. Give me the antidote.
I'm impressed. I didn't think you would get this far alive. Unfortunately, I'm sure you'll understand that I can't let you leave.
What a surprise.
You're nothing but a vulgar murderer.
That's true, but somebody has to accomplish the dirty work. And look how God has rewarded me with all this wealth.
You're not working for God, but for a man who's thirsting for power, the Cardinal of Lorraine, who's planning to kill young Henry of Navarre because he's afraid he could ascend to the throne someday.
You are decidedly more clever than I had thought. To be sure, Henry must die, and Queen Catherine, who is far too clement with the reformists, must be forced once and for all from power. And believe me, after all these murders of which your family will be accused, her gullibility will be apparent, and even the king, her son, will no longer be able to trust her.
What I really think is that your
That's what
words
you know,
and your greed
dumbass.
cost you. You should have left this morning. The Queen knows you're alive, and after the confession you've just made, you won't survive for very long after me.
What?
Her Majesty must be in the chapel now, listening to your sinister words.
That's impossible.
Didn't think about that, did you? Hey, you bold bastard. Oh, dude, she's gonna skin your ass alive. You're gonna be a puppet when she finishes with you, boyo. Oh, there comes the guard. Oh.
And now dark clouds no longer threaten our future nor the future of the royal family. All that took place in this temple has metamorphosed the course of time.
And the scribe? What was his fate?
He disappeared under all the rubble, and you yourself had great luck to escape from there in time. The last aftershock was terrible.
I'll never let you put yourself between me and my treasure.
Where did he get that from? Toasty!
This sanctuary was profaned a long time ago. Since that day, the 𝘱 awaits your coming. You have accomplished the sacrifice that at last returns it to peace, at least for the moment.
At least for the moment. That's the future, isn't it? 1909. I guess that is a... That's like what? Did you say this game was like 1590 odd? I don't know the history of wherever we are, so that means nothing to me. But there we go. We aced it. Yeah, what an odd ending, eh? Very odd. We didn't even get to see that guy fall into the lava. Should have been like Arnie in Terminator. You just saw his hand sliding down. That would have been really great. I guess a bit too dark. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Yeah, this game's really good, except that bloody dice game. That bloody dice game. Other than that, yeah, the story's a bit far-fetched, but yeah, it's still good. Played this game enough times that I like it. So yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next game, peeps. So yeah, take care of yourselves, and yeah, stay. I guess I was gonna say stay frosty. Yeah, so stay frosty, peeps. Bye.